Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Sunday debrief. We are, of course, looking at all the Saturday games. We're going to talk some injuries as well. Ait-Nouri, Saka, Palmer, all out. We're going to talk Haaland and Watkins blanks. We're going to talk Gyokeres and in-demand players, Semenyo too. And of course, we've got all the best stuff. We've got the XG plots, the visual stuff, the average pass maps. This is a football show first and foremost. And of course, it's an FPL show, very, very close to that. FPL Discomfort is in the house. He's got his cereal in hand. Good to see Paul in the house as well. Rowena, off-core. Thank you, guys. Coffee in hand for me. And I'm absolutely ready to go now. So thank you for bearing with me. If you are watching on catch-up, I'm going to skip from game to game. So if you just are interested in the analysis of the Chelsea game, you can skip forward 15 minutes. You can look at the timestamps at the bottom and you can go to Chelsea. PS, I don't know if that's going to be in 15 minutes time, but it's coming up. So hello to everyone on catch up and to everyone in the chat. Is it wildcard time? We'll talk a little bit about wildcard. Sunderland fan Mackham is in the house. So is Kev. Good to see Sammy there as well. Thank you guys all for joining early this Sunday morning. If you are joining and do have questions, keep ideally your questions to the game that we're discussing. So for example, when we're on Chelsea, don't ask me questions about Sunderland because it's not a great experience for the catch-up viewers if we do that. But yeah, look guys, thank you. I really appreciate you joining me this morning. We'll get cracking. If you want to drop where in the world you're watching from, I love to see that on a Sunday morning. Hit me up with some countries. As you're doing that, hit the like button, but please do subscribe to the channel. And let's see where in the world. We always get a lot of Aussies. Any Aussies in the house right now? Aussies, Kiwis, those in Far East Asia. This time seems to suit them on a Sunday night. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's see where you're watching from. We've got Norway represented, Bracknell, England, straight in, Malachian Island, India, good stuff. Barbados, Australia, there we go. I knew we'd get one. Indonesia as well. I knew Kunal's in India too. And then we've got Matt in Northampton, only 45 minutes up the road from me. We have got Joseph from New Zealand in. Get in. Come on. I wanted New Zealand and Australia represented and South Africa. Leicestershire, Laos, come on. Enfield, there we go. Danoon, where's Danoon? Another Kiwi, Namibia. Wow, I love that. All right, let's get started. Sadly, only Coventry. Don't worry. Coventry, 7 goals for Frank Lampard yesterday. Just started with my team on screen as a bit of a holder. I did use the bench boost, guys, and I just wanted to make that clear. I'm happy with my bench boost because Dubravka, the bench boost actually would be Nico Williams and Dubravka and Mark Guiu. So that we don't know. Obviously, the Cole Palmer injury is rubbish because I'm not going to have 15 men. I'm going to have 14 men. But I was very happy with the Dubravka clean sheet. I was delighted with the Esteve clean sheet. I had Pedro Porro in my 11, unlike most. I was always going to start Pedro Porro this week. You saw that on my team selection videos. We've got Dewsbury Hall coming in as well. So let's see how we get on with that. Let's see how we get on with that, shall we? But look, let's kick off just with some stuff in the Scout members area before we go game by game. Game by game stuff is coming in at 2 minutes' time. But first, XGI, straight top of the charts. Gyokeres, Enzo obviously had a big chance for his goal. But Estevao as well, right? Like, he's going to catch the eye. He's already caught the eye. He's going to be great. XG underachievers and overachievers I love to look at. Semenyo, the biggest underachiever of the game week. And guys, Semenyo got an assist yesterday, but returned big in game week 1 and has good fixtures moving forward. These are the Semenyo fixtures. Tottenham, Brighton, Newcastle, Leeds and Fulham. I love Semenyo very much. He should have scored yesterday. He had 2 big chances that he missed. He obviously got an assist early on. Semenyo is everything we want in an FPL asset. Plays for a team that score lots of goals, good amount of goals, plays 90 minutes, shoots on sight, and he could even be on pens. We don't know between him and Evan Nilsson who will take them in Kluivert's absence. Marmouche as well, in amongst it. And Calafiori, love that. Love the Calafiori stuff. Expected assists, yeah. Brooks, Estevao, Rice. XG, Gyokeres top of the charts. The XG overachievers. So we just did the underachievers, Semenyo. The biggest overachievers, yeah, those that scored goals with low XG chances. Jurriën Timber, Lucas Paqueta with a worldie. Cullen's goal was so good. And we're going to talk a little bit about Burnley because they looked really good yesterday. And Cullen got goal and assist. Jaden Anthony goal and assist. 5.5 midfielder, I think he is. Saka and Paulinho as well. BPS, top of the tree. Timber. Defensive contributions, we're going to talk about Dango. Dango is a 5.5 midfielder playing up top for Brentford. He's pretty much playing the Mbermo role, but boy, did he look good yesterday. And somehow he picked up DEFCON bonus. 16 defensive contributions. Talk about defend from the front. Damsgaard massively caught the eye. So we're going to talk about Brentford in detail as well. But before we do all of that, we need to get to some games. So where do we start? Do we start with Chelsea from Friday night? Do we start with Arsenal from last? I feel like let's start with Arsenal from last night. Let's do that. So look, first game up, we'll do Arsenal. And thank you for all your comments. I can't show them all, but I will be putting comments up when I can. Did Damsgaard drop in price? That's mad. He looks so good. Set piece Brentford. Yeah, we'll talk about that. But now, guys, 6 is he? Yeah, he is 6. Let's keep our chat on Arsenal Leeds. Hello to Keith in the chat as well. Hello to Paul. Thank you guys as always for joining. And so many of our channel members are in the house as well. So really appreciate all the channel members. You can see their names highlighted. Let's get cracking, shall we, with Arsenal Leeds. We always said if you're on free hit, you're going triple Arsenal. We always said if you had a luxury transfer, it was going to be Arsenal. Like you're going to buy an Arsenal player. Guys, you saw my thumbnail the other day, right? Yeah. The only decision I thought about for a transfer this week was, we'll talk about it, was Gyokeres in to captain him. And look what he did, like absolutely dominant display from Arsenal. Really interesting when Madueke went to the right, he looked much better. And we'll look at that shape in a minute because no Saka, what does that mean now for Arsenal? And obviously we got the Eze stuff to contend with. Leeds, you'll see this a lot from new promoted teams when they go to the big teams away from home. 3 shots, all low XG chances. Arsenal, big chances, but also set piece Arsenal. Set piece Arsenal. Boy, do they cause problems. And the problems they cause, last season we saw it, Gabriel, always the target. This season, it's like Gabriel yesterday was a decoy. It was like, we're not actually aiming for that Gabriel, but we know all the best defenders from Leeds were on Gabriel, the tallest defenders, the best in the air. And it leaves players like Timber free. Make sure you like and subscribe to support the Goat. Very generous, Ross. But yeah, I'd love that if you want to hit that subscribe button. And if you're wondering why you can't add your comments into the chat, you've got to subscribe to do that. But yeah, thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Rice is 6.5, not 5.5. And Rice only takes corners from one side, remember. Arsenal like in-swinging corners. So it's Saka from one side, Rice from the other. In Saka's absence, I don't know who's going to take them. It could be Rice from both sides, but he'll probably want a left footer. Let's have a look then, how they set up. Now, ignore the Noni Madueke average position because he started on the left, he moved to the right, and that dragged his average position across. The big takeaways here were the fullbacks are really encouraging in open play and set pieces. Calafiori, 2 assists. Timber, 2 goals. The problem with the fullbacks is they're not absolutely nailed. There is a world in which Ben White gets starts. There's a massive world in which Calafiori starts 50% of his games. So with that in mind, I probably steer clear and still look at the centre-backs. But what we've seen from Arsenal now, 2 clean sheets in 2, and they are the best defence in the league. But in attack, they're going to be useful even without Bukayo Saka. So what do we know from Saka? Oh yeah, and absolutely. Calafiori in open play will always bomb on. It's just in his DNA. So yeah, I'm a fan. His injuries, the Champions League, the rotation we'll see with fullbacks when the Champions League kicks in. We know Gabriel and Saliba are going to start every minute of every Premier League game they're fit. Right. What was my thumbnail in the week, guys? Did anyone watch my team selection video? The only move I considered was this. The only move I considered making in my team was Gyokeres. I don't think I'm going to change my thumbnail next week. I think I could run this for game week 3. Let's see. I knew moving forward, it didn't really work for me with fixtures, right? I looked at the fixtures and I went, I know Arsenal have got a rough run now. But at the same time, I was drawn to it because of captaincy. Let's see what Saka does, but I wanted to captain Gyokeres, and that's why I wanted to bring him in. Now, Arsenal fixtures moving forward, this is from Scout, right at the bottom of the ticker. They've got Liverpool, Forest, City, Newcastle. Is there a harder 4-game run? But by the way, in game week 7, when they play West Ham at home, we're all going to want them in. I think we probably can go without them and swerve them. Even with Gyokeres, a really, really attractive buy. And he's such an attractive buy, Gyokeres, because the other guy in this picture, Watkins, and we'll talk about him later, has been rubbish. And we'll talk about maybe selling them when we do that Aston Villa game. Of course, we'll talk about Villa fixtures as well. So look, the big takeaway from the Arsenal game for many will be Saka has pulled his hamstring. I took this photo straight away and uploaded it to Twitter. Now, hamstrings, you got to be careful. It was also an off-the-ball hamstring. Hamstrings are usually off the ball, right? When a player goes down off the ball, you're like, okay. And Saka doesn't go down easily. And Arteta said post-match, it's serious because Saka doesn't go down injury. I expect we're looking at around a month, but I'm no physio. It could be anywhere with hamstrings, like 2 to 6, 2 to 8, I think, with hamstrings, but probably around a month. The good news for Arsenal is international break. So game week 3, we know he's going to miss. 90% sure. Game week 4 doesn't come round for another month or 3.5 weeks. So he's got a chance, but yeah, he's got a chance. The international break's annoying. But good for those that own Saka. Saka obviously got a goal, but went off before 60. No clean sheet point, no bonus point, and just the 1 appearance point. So annoying if you went Saka, because loads would have captained him, especially those on free hit. Let's also talk Eze. Eze, the boyhood Arsenal fan. There's romance here. He signed for Arsenal wearing the number 10 shirt. Fair play. Is Eze an FPL asset? And where does he fit into this team? He's going to play on the left. I think we're going to see now Noni Madueke in the Saka position and Eze on the left. And he'll invert, and that's fine. I think Eze is a good pick. Is he as good a pick at Arsenal as he was at Palace? No. He's not, because at Palace, he was on all the set pieces. He was on some of the pens. He was a 90-minute man. At Arsenal, he might not be those things. But if he does become a 90-minute man, then we like him. It's going to be a wait and see, though, because of the fixtures. Again, I come back to the fixture ticker. You're not buying Arsenal attackers for Liverpool, Forest, City and Newcastle. It's just such a bad 4-game run. So I think you just wait and see on them. So look, that's where we're at with Arsenal. We're just going to touch, of course, on Leeds. Like, the headline for Leeds is, as all the newly promoted teams, they lost away from home. They won at home. We're going to see that quite a bit. But let's just talk a little bit about Stack, the midfielder who's 5 million. Now, Stack is really interesting. Look at his average position, the most advanced man on the pitch. He's a midfielder. He takes corners. He's 6'4" and takes corners, by the way. But, Declan Rice takes corners. He's good in the air. But what I like about Stack is he also picked up DEFCON in game week 1, I think, or was very close to it. He also picked up good XGI in game week 1, 0.56. He also is 5 million. So if you're looking for a 5 million mid that's going to get DEFCON, going to get some attacking returns, that has an average position that looks like that, Stack's not a bad pick, Stack looks really, really good. Stack could be the one. Yeah. Emma says, 497 watching and only 83 likes. Thank you, Emma. Look, if you do want to do what the woman says, and, when you're doing that, you can hit the subscribe button. And maybe Stack's a better pick than Dewsbury Hall. And we'll know more about that as we see Dewsbury Hall again on Sunday. It is worth noting, Leeds fixtures are mixed. I don't like Newcastle at home, Fulham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Tottenham. They're not bad. Not bad. Stack's definitely on my radar. Okay, we want to move on from this game. We're going to go to Brentford. Go to Brentford? I feel like we have to go to Brentford because everyone's in the chat asking me about Ollie Watkins. So we have to go to Brentford. Let's move away from Arsenal. I'm not gonna ask you guys because you all know it. But what FPL Maggots in the house? Welcome. Good to see you at Fest. Last year, big chance Brentford. That's all I called them. It was boring, right? You lot are sick of it. I now call it big chance Spurs because that's what Thomas Frank does. It's all about big chances. I don't want you shooting loads. I want you shooting with high volume, high big chances, high chance shots, high XG shots. Keith Andrews Brentford might just be the same. Look how many shots Brentford had yesterday. Brentford and Aston Villa both finished on just over 1 XG. And look how they got there. Aston Villa got there, death by 1,000 low XG shots. And Brentford got there, 1, 2, 3, about 5 shots, 6 attempts? We'll have a look. Here's the shot map. 9 shots, right? But look, 2 of them, big chances. Aston Villa, 17 shots. They had double the shots and they had slightly lower XG. Big chance Brentford are back. And I'm all for it. This graphic shows 0 big chances Villa concerning. Absolutely. Now, Dango is a 6 million midfielder playing in the Mbermo/Vissa role. Like, he's pretty much he's playing the Mbermo role. At most on the right, but most advanced man on the pitch. Now, Brentford don't make bad buys, really. They're all about the scouting. They're all about the analytics. They would have looked at the profile they need, who can convert big chances, who can cause problems in behind, who can be a runner, but also hold up play. All the things Mbermo did, Dango did. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dango when Thiago's not on the pitch on penalties. Thiago took his pen and scored it. Dango, I'm seriously considering alongside Collins and Thiago. Yeah, and Sammy is a Brentford fan. He also smashed it in DEFCON. The highest DEFCON performer of the game week, guys, was Dango. 16 DEFCON. Talk about pressing from the front. So we see the shot map we like. We see the fact that they have become the same as Thomas Frank's Brentford. And of course, Keith Andrews worked under Thomas Frank. But how do they line up? Are they the same? Yeah, they pretty much are. It's a lot of long balls from Kelleher. We saw that all the time last year from Flecken. It's not necessarily the neatest, but it's a front 3 that involves a number 9 Igor. He's the Visser. Kevin Schade, who's still around. Dango, who's still around. Michael Coyote, he's inverting from right back. Again, we probably saw more width from the fullbacks last year. Coyote's taking long throws. That's not changed. Again, set pieces are important, corners and throw-ins. Damsgaard has absolutely got a free role when he's pulling the strings. And Damsgaard, what a performance from him yesterday. Goal disallowed, but so good. I like the Brentford attack. And I think they'll keep some clean sheets. Again, you're going to get so many DEFCON. 6 of the Brentford players hit DEFCON this week because they're not going to have much possession. This pass map shows they're out of possession a lot, right? And if they're out of possession, the centre-backs are going to be busy. Look at the defensive contributions. Dango, 16. Damsgaard, 15. Yarmouk, 15. Collins, 13. Vandenberg, 12. These are centre-backs who only need 10, by the way. Coyote as well. Mad. So, let's have a look at the Brentford fixtures. Are we interested in Brentford? Or is it just like a good home fixture for them? Do you know what? I think they're going to be good at home. I think they go to Sunderland and probably get a result or cause problems. Chelsea's a home game. United's a home game. City's a home game. It's a shame Sunderland and Fulham are the away games because I do think at home they'll be much better. But let's see. Let's see. We've got to obviously talk about Villa. It's the same Villa 11, give or take, that we saw last year. So why were they so bad? Why were they so bad in game week 1? Because the Konza red card, they were bad before that. Why were they so bad in game week 2? Something's not right. And the answer isn't in the selection, and the answer is not in the pass map. And it's not in the average position map, and it's not in the personnel, because this 11 would have started football matches last year and played well. I don't think Emery gets the best out of Watkins. I think there's clearly something that's gone on there. The dropping, like he was dropping him for big Champions League games last year. Left him out. He played Rashford number 9. The lone player. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ollie Watkins linked with moves away in the next few days. Could Newcastle come in for a surprise Ollie Watkins move? I could see it. Does Nico Jackson end up at Villa? And if Nico Jackson goes to Villa, I can't see them having Watkins too. So watch this space. They don't have much money. Financial fair play is an issue for them. Still depressed they missed the Champions League, maybe. Rodgers is best in the 10. Yeah. And last year he played a lot in the 10 and a lot on the right when Asensio came. There's talk that Asensio could be coming back, even in from Sydney. And Kunku could be on the way. But what do Villa really need? I think they need wide forwards. Because John McGinn's not a wide forward, and that's where he's playing. He doesn't trust Buendia. He doesn't trust Daniel Marlon. And he sold or got rid of on loan, I can't remember, Leon Bailey, who was one of the only natural wide forwards in the squad. He's made a big signing from Liga, 30 million, who can play up front and wide forward. Gassand, I can't pronounce his name. And maybe people will see that soon. But yeah, the dynamic's not quite right. Do we keep hold of our Aston Villa attackers is the $1 million question. And I'm going to say, the main reason I've got Ollie Watkins in my team was I love the fixtures, but I also like the price point. I wanted to be able to move Ollie Watkins to Gyokeres guilt-free when the fixtures swing. But is that an enforced move sooner rather than later? Gyokeres has Liverpool, Forest, City, Newcastle, the right at the bottom of the ticker. Watkins right at the top of the ticker. Palace, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley. It's hard to sell him with those fixtures, but if they're not scoring goals, it's a real tempter. What we need is a forward to put their hand up with good fixtures. If you don't have João Pedro, do you sell Watkins to João Pedro? Yeah, I think you do. Let's see. We don't know what the next few days brings. All I'd say is there's going to be movement in the transfer market. Hold your transfers, because this week we might see Nico Jackson get a move. 6.5 forward starting for Aston Villa or Newcastle. Like, yes, we would go there. So I'm waiting to see. But yes, I'm happy to sell. I'm absolutely happy to sell Watkins. But I don't know who for. And Ekatike isn't the one if Isak goes to Liverpool, dude. Ekatike is going to be a massive minutes risk, no matter how good he is. The time to buy Ekatike was for game week 1 and 2 and 3. But by game week 4, he might not be in the 11. So we'll talk about Palmer as the games go on, guys. I'm going to keep it game by game. So right now we're on Aston Villa. We'll get to Chelsea in a second. Sesko could be one to watch. Look at the Man United fixtures. You know, Burnley from game week 3. Let's see how Sesko gets on today. So guys, that is it on Aston Villa. It's concerning. Fair play to Brentford. Dango, 6 million midfielder. He's going to get loads of goals. Where do we go to next then? Where should we go? We need to do Burnley Sunderland, but I feel like before we do Burnley Sunderland, we should do a couple of the bigger teams. Should we do Chelsea? Yeah, there's a lot of João Pedro chat going on. And guys, I read all your comments, so thank you. If you want to add your comment, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button. Yeah, Sammy's definitely going to buy Jack. Sammy, I'm in a draft league with Sammy, and he's got Dango in draft. Got him before us all. So look, let's talk João Pedro. 15 big ones, and so many sold him. Guys, 250,000. Come on, put your hand up if you sold him. I didn't. No, it's not me putting my hand up. You got to stay patient with these guys. And it's a little bit like João Pedro is proof that we don't pick our teams for 1 week. So many got impatient. They sold him after a week. And it's like, remember that with Florian Wirtz. Maybe remember that with Ollie Watkins. You give these guys more than 2 weeks. I think you give them 3. Players like Ollie Watkins, we probably give a 3rd week to. But let's see where we go. If you don't have João Pedro, Watkins and João Pedro would make sense. So look, Chelsea was super impressive, but boy, were West Ham bad. Now, if you captain Cole Palmer, that's really unfortunate because Cole Palmer would have had a field day. Cole Palmer would have had an absolute field day. Yes, I know. I was with Holly on Friday on air and she did. She went to Chris Wood. Look, I hope Chris Wood gets her 15 points. But yeah, she did. She moved quick. She wanted to beat the price rise. She went early. She'd seen enough. João Pedro saved a lot of people's weeks. Keep showing love and drop a like, says Jay. Thank you, Jay. Good morning, G. Waking up with triple captain Gyokeres. Fair play. But look, you've missed the Arsenal chat, mate. We're going to talk Chelsea. I mean, this is embarrassing. This is the performance from West Ham of a sacking. Like, you can't concede 4xG at home. And it was toxic. Fans were leaving early. But look at Chelsea here. It's not like, for a 5-goal win, 5-1 win, it's not an absolute plethora of chances. The conversion rate was quite good. And eking out big chances was also quite impressive. Often when we see 5 goals or an XG of 4.11, you see a chart that looks like this. Loads of tiny increases, 25, 30 shots. It wasn't 25, 30 shots. It was 12. And that's pretty remarkable. Chelsea scored 5 goals from 12 shots. What does that tell us? That tells us, without players like Nicholas Jackson in the team, the conversion might just be a lot better with clinical finishers. But also, are they building up to big chances? And is there a tactical shift at Chelsea? Maybe there is, because you look at some of the goals. Enzo, tap-in. Caicedo, fair play, set piece. João Pedro, again, off a set piece. But big chances and very good set piece delivery. I would love that. I would love Chelsea to become a team that have 12 shots and score from almost half of them. But look at that. Look at the big bubbles. Some of these big bubbles were goals, some of them weren't. But from the 12 chances, 7 of them would count as big chances. That ratio is Brentford, it's Thomas Frank, it's Keith Andrews' vibe. It's a fair play. Chelsea also have a chance of keeping clean sheets this season more than last. We saw it in the run-in. We saw it in the Club World Cup. Now, of course, the Paqueta wonder goal. West Ham had their chances too. They also had 12 shots. Look at the difference between a shot map of 12 shots, low XG, 12 shots, high XG. It's not about the amount. It's not about the volume. It's about the quality. And if you take one thing from these Sunday debriefs, it's learning that and learning which teams are really good at producing quality. We have seen shot maps from other teams this morning. Aston Villa. Where was the Aston Villa shot map? Let me find it just to compare. Because this is night and day, guys. Right? Look at Chelsea. Look at Aston Villa. 17 shots, Aston Villa. Not one of them a big chance. Buying Aston Villa attackers isn't good right now because they're not producing big chances. You look at this, it puts you off on Ollie Watkins. It puts you off on Morgan Rogers. You look at this and you go, João Pedro, yes. Pedro Neto, first choice wide forward. Yes. Scored his big chance. What a finish, by the way. Enzo Fernandez getting in shooting positions. Cole Palmer will get big chances. If Liam Delap becomes a starter, 6.5 million, yeah, there's a lot to like about Chelsea right now. And yes, you can say it was just West Ham. And maybe that's fair. When we look at the fixture ticker, though, there's still Fulham, Brentford, Man United, Brighton. If you take off game week 7, and on Scout, you can do that. There's X's at the top. And there's a code there to scan if you want more from Scout. If you remove game week 7, Chelsea go from like 10th in the ticker to probably 2nd or 3rd. Because game week 7 is against Liverpool. That's massively like deflated their fixture ticker. But Fulham, Brentford, Man United, Brighton, yeah, a lot to love. By the way, in game week 7, a lot will take funds out of Cole Palmer if they haven't already done so. And let's see how injured he is. And they'll move them to like someone like Saka if he's fit, because Arsenal fixtures from 7 get really, really good. So look, that's Chelsea, West Ham. In terms of average position, we saw Delap and Neto starting together. That might be a common theme. João Pedro could be playing 10, could play on the left. We saw Palmer down in the warm-up. He wasn't right all week. He felt something. We don't know what. Muscular. It's likely we'll hear more. It's likely we'll hear more. Esteval started and got player of the match. Cucurella inverting. Often in the back 3, Cucurella. On Delap and Pedro, Maresca's the first time he's played them together. He said, "I think the both of them can play together. We didn't play them together since we started them. Both together was the first time. Works quite well, but we can do much, much better. But overall, we're happy with that." And I thought Delap had a really underrated performance of occupying centre backs and leaving space for others. Because when you play an old school number 9 that's always on the last man, he's occupying 1-2 centre backs, and that frees up space for others. When you play a number 9 that does the João Pedro stuff, which is often floating around, going wide, dropping deep, he's not necessarily pinning the centre-backs. Liam Delap absolutely pins the centre-backs, and you'll always see an average position map for Liam Delap right on the last man. Yet often we see average position maps of number 9s. Let's take an example from Victor Gyokeres yesterday. So Victor Gyokeres' average position map, he's doing what a lot of number 9s do, which is coming short, getting on the ball. João Pedro does that too. Liam Delap, number 9, always on the last man. And tactically, away from home, against maybe a back 3 like West Ham, that might be something Maresca looks at. So the choice between João Pedro and Delap as the number 9 won't come down to necessarily form, who's scoring goals. It will come down to, actually, I'm getting both in the team, so I don't need to drop one of them. Who's the better number 9 for the opposition we're about to face? Now, remember, Maresca is a Pep disciple, and Pep Guardiola is all about picking his 11 based on opponents. Hence, some weeks it's wide forwards, some weeks it's inside forwards. He went from Doku and Bob in game week 1 to then swapping Doku for a Marmouche because he wanted more, didn't want the natural width. He wanted Ait-Nouri to be the width. Maresca's the same. So watch that space with Chelsea. Delap could get way more starts than we think. Pedro is better and more effective as the 10. I'm not so sure he is, but let's see, because I think we're going to see Enzo / Palmer playing in that role a lot still. But let's see. In terms of West Ham, if you own Jarrod Bowen, you get rid. I was impressed with Diouf again, guys. As a wing back, if only they can keep a clean sheet, Diouf's going to be a brilliant pick. But for the time being, you chill on West Ham. Their fixtures moving forward, meh. Like, some teams you don't even need to look at the fixture ticker. You just go, the form's so bad you don't consider them. And I think West Ham are one of them. Jared Bowen's an expensive cash cow. Get rid. Bowen to João Pedro. Save some money. Let's do Man City versus Spurs. I love this one. What a fun game this was. Again, level pegging for XG. Proper level pegging, but Spurs clinical. And actually, Haaland. The problem with the Man City XG was didn't fall to Haaland yesterday. And that was a problem. That was a problem. Guys, there are almost 800 of you watching. Thank you. And if you're watching on catch up, thank you to you guys. I am going to do, as soon as I come off this show, I'm going to put timestamps. So if you do want to skip forward for those watching on catch up, you can. For everyone watching live and on catch up, I would love to improve our ratio of likes and subscribes. Only 10 subscribes this morning. I know from the 800 of you watching, there's a couple of hundred that aren't subbed. If you do want to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button with the notification bell. I'm thinking about doing these on Saturday nights. Should I do these on Saturday nights or Sunday mornings? Let's do a poll and ask you, should the Sunday debrief be on a Saturday evening at 8 p.m. UK time instead of Sunday morning? Would you prefer morning or evening? Get voting in the poll. I nearly did one last night. Okay. Ah, thank you. Loads of you are subbing now. Thank you. Do hit those buttons. It really helps the channel grow. Helps me make sure I keep doing these vids, right? I could even, if the games are good enough today, I could do a Monday debrief tomorrow morning. Perfect way to start your Sundays. Yeah, how is that poll going? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think you guys like the Sundays. I mean, maybe it's unfair doing that poll on a Sunday morning, but yeah. Sunday nights after Sunday night matches. Yeah, the problem is the Sunday nights, all the other YouTubers are streaming and no one will watch me. Perfect listen with the coffee. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Right. Yeah, I might do a Monday debrief. Might do one tomorrow. Again, if you hit the notification bell, you'll know if I do one tomorrow, but I will try. I've got my daughter tomorrow, but I'll see. I'm taking her to a railway, a little mini railway place. Looks loads of fun. Right. 10 shots versus 12 shots. The shots just didn't fall to Haaland. And I don't want to be reactionary. Like, one week we go, Haaland's a must-have. The next week we go, it's rubbish. It just, look, City struggled yesterday. It wasn't a brilliant football match for them, but why did they struggle and how? Let's see how they set up. So first of all, Spurs, this is all about going around them. The quality for Man City is in the middle of the park, right? Players like Reinders, Nico Gonzalez started yesterday, but usually it'd be Rodri. Obviously, the centre-backs that step in, great on the ball, John Stones. This was all about go round the sides. And they went round the sides and they had joy. And they had joy in behind. Brennan Johnson, Kudus, Richarlison, they're all winning runners. But the pressing from Sarr was insane. Sarr playing as a number 10, it's like a defensive 10. It's weird. Like most number 10s are the flair players. The James Maddisons, that was the ideal, right? Pap Sarr gives you something different. He gives you legs, he gives you energy, and he gives you a high press, and he starts attacks from the front. And it was Pap Sarr that caused all sorts of problems for the second goal. Look at Pap Sarr there. He sees straight away Trafford open up his body. He's going to give it to Nico Gonzalez. The problem with this was Trafford passed it to Gonzalez's wrong foot. If Trafford gives it to his left foot, he shields his body and possession's fine. Trafford, sloppy, because you shouldn't be misjudging a pass for 5 to 10 yards, gives it to the wrong side of Nico Gonzalez, gives it to his right foot. Pap Sarr comes in, steals the ball, goal. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. That's just the way it goes. We do need to talk about the rest of the game, though, other than that goal. But fair play. The pressing from the front was impressive. Richarlison should keep his spot as the 9. Richarlison's still a bit of a dodgy buy because he's going to share minutes with Solanke. Kudus and Sarr, though. Guys, I'm interested. I'm proper interested in Pap Sarr. I think he's 5, or is he 5.5? He's either 5 or 5.5. Spurs, top of the ticker now. They're going to score goals. Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Wolves, Leeds. If Dewsbury Hall doesn't pass my appraisal this morning, then I absolutely like him. And Kudus is a buy as well. He's 5 million. Sarr is 5. Kudus is a great buy. Paulinho is a great buy for DEFCON. And by the way, when we're talking about DEFCON from this fixture, hang on, let me get back to my screen. I don't think I've got the graphic of the DEFCON, but I can read it out. So who got DEFCON for Spurs? And remember, Paulinho is a DEFCON beast, right? Paulinho yesterday got 3 bonus points as well, I should add. He actually didn't get DEFCON. He got 9. Papsar got 9. Kudus got 9. These guys, midfielders, all need 12. Even Richarlison got 8. This is all because of the high press. Romero did get DEFCON. He's the only defender that did get DEFCON. He got 10. Bentancur got 11. He needs 12, remember. No one got them from Man City, and City players won't really get DEFCON. They have so much of the ball. Really interesting, though. All those attacking players, Sarr, Richarlison, even Kudus, they're going to be all right for DEFCON because this is all about pressing from the front. If I was buying one and money wasn't an issue, it would be Kudus because he's going to be mostly a 90-minute man. He's on the set pieces, 6.5 million. Paulinho is going to get loads of DEFCON, and at 5 million, I like him. The problem for Paulinho is Papsar's also going to get goals. And I know Paulinho scored yesterday, but look at the average position. Sar's in shooting positions way, way more. Let's see if they buy a 10. They are looking to buy a 10, and the window is open. I thought James McAtee would have been a good buy. Obviously, Savinho's linked with Spurs. Savinho will probably play wide, but he can play 10. No, Rangers is still the better pick than Sarr. Kudus' price went up overnight, did it? Yeah, okay, not surprised. Does Kudus shoot? Not so much, but Thomas Frank will be working on that. I promise you that. Are you confident on Sarr's attacking returns? I wouldn't say confident, but he's in the positions where he's going to get them. He'll also get some DEFCON. And look, you're talking 5 million. We can't bank on goals at 5 million for anyone. Big chance Spurs. Yeah. Not so much yesterday, but yeah, they will be. Man City were messy. Guys, it is very, very rare you see an average position map like this. Obviously, with Ait-Nouri going off, that affects it because he wasn't on the pitch much. But it was a bit messy. It was a bit disjointed. What I'd say about this is look at Tijani Reinder's position. Now, he was the most bought player last week. 1 million managers, more than, bought Tijani Reinders. Keep calm and carry on. Pep made so many substitutions. Oscar Bob came off. Cherky came off. Omar Marmoush came off. Nico Gonzalez came off. Who stayed on? Who got 90 minutes? And that is always key with these shows that I try and bring you, the 90-minute men. Tijani Reinders, Erling Haaland, they are key cogs in this team. And they have the fixtures. They're going to get points. Now, look at this. So, for example, this is like late on at 2-0 down. Rodri's got the ball. Who's looking to get in behind, bust in a gut late in the game to try and get on the score sheet? 51 minutes, I think that says. But it's still 2-0 down. Tijani Reinders. That's Tijani Reinders there at the top of the above Haaland. Now, Rodri didn't find him, and it was a poor ball. If he finds him, Reinders is the sort of player with his finishing quality that can finish that sort of chance off. I thought Marmoush was actually quite good. I thought he started the game really well. Bob at 5.5 might be great value, but depending on how he sets up Pep, there'll be a lot of games he doesn't start him. He's a big rotation risk. And I know Bob played well. Great to see him back. You're right, James. Really is. Marmoush isn't a winger. Marmoush can play 9-10 and wide left. It's why Pep likes him. The problem is if you play Marmoush 10, you lose a bit from Reinders. And you're not going to play him 9 unless Haaland's out. So look, that's where we're at with City. I think we keep calm, carry on. The City fixtures, Brighton, Man United. I see goals in both those. Arsenal's tough, but then it's Burnley and Brentford. And in game week 6, Haaland triple captain will be very, very popular. Marmoush did well. His best performances, I think, have been in the 10 off Haaland. And maybe that's where we see him. But you could argue Cherky's best role is the 10. You could argue Reinder's best role is sort of 8-10 hybrid. Let's see. If Pep goes for the second striker vibe, which he does at times, you might see that. But yesterday, and in game week 1, effectively, it was Tijani Reinders as the second striker. Pep does love Bob, but it doesn't mean he starts every week. By the way, how was James Trafford not sent off for this? Nowhere near the ball. Should have been a red. And actually, it would have been really interesting to see if other Spurs players got on the score sheet. Because the way Spurs were playing, if they go down to 10, Spurs might have had another goal or two. Ait-Nouri, a load bought him in this week. quite a few sold Frimpong because he's injured to get Ait-Nouri who is now injured. That I'd be surprised if Ait-Nouri plays game week 3. Game week 4 though is 3 weeks away. You probably get him. Trafford isn't starting the next match. Well, I think he might. I think City buy Donnarumma though. I think Ederson's off, so I don't think if Ederson's leaving, you're not going to give Ederson game week 3, are you? Hope you're enjoying your coffees, by the way, guys. Do enjoy these Sunday mornings with me and your coffees. If you're liking the stream and not subscribed, join this chat. Oh, thank you, Jay. Good reminder. Yeah, quite. Guys, thank you for liking and subscribing this morning. I know I bang on about it, but really, if you don't ask for subscribes, you don't really get them. You just don't. Haaland owners, Watkins owners, João Pedro owners loved his tweet from official FPL. Yeah, he did look at his debt. He's just too confident with the ball. You don't have that time in the Premier League. In the Championship, you can be that confident on the ball. And he's good with his feet, but Donnarumma agreed personal terms now. As he, well, yeah, I mean, Donnarumma's going to be great. I'm enjoying my ice cream. Yeah, I mean, look, not everyone's watching in England. It's not. It's evening in Australia, for example. Will Palmer play next week? We'll get to him in a minute. No, Donnarumma, ironically, and Nick is bang on the money here. Donnarumma's not a footballing goalkeeper, like with his feet. Donnarumma's the world's best goalkeeper at shot stopping. He is, guys. Like he's probably going to be in the shortlist for the top. He's probably going to be in the top 5 in the Ballon d'Or rankings this year. But he's not good with his feet, which is a really interesting buy for City. Just found out and sub. Do you have any news about Saka? Didn't look good, dude. Didn't look good on Saka. Like it's a hamstring. Hamstrings take weeks. Saka ain't going to play game week 3. I tell you that for free. What game should we get to next? Shall we do... Did we do Bournemouth? Who's getting injured today? Ederson's not playing because he's going to be sold. Bournemouth Wolves. Did we do Bournemouth? No, we didn't. Because we did a lot of Dango analysis. I was like, oh, we've done Bournemouth. No, we did Brentford. So let's do Bournemouth. Yeah, let's do Bournemouth. Guys, you dictate the agenda on these Sunday mornings, by the way. So thank you for watching. Right. Bournemouth Wolves, dominant. And guys, I think the big headline here is Antoine Semenyo. And I'm pleased that Semenyo didn't smash it yesterday because he could have done. 2 of these big chances for Bournemouth are Semenyo. 2 of those bubbles in the area are Semenyo. 14 shots to 6. Bournemouth look good. I don't know if Wolves are targetable. I think Wolves were up against 2 good teams in Man City and Bournemouth. I think they might be slightly better than we think, Wolves. Maybe that's just my inkling, right? My inkling is Wolves aren't as bad as we perhaps think. Sure, they're in like the relegation scrap, but I don't see Wolves as the target Wolves. I think we target Leeds, Burnley and Sunderland still, especially when they're away from home. This is a really impressive average position map. Evan Nilsson is that striker that doesn't strike me as a 20-goal a season man, ever. Even best case scenario. The picks for Bournemouth are Tavernier at 5.5, Semenyo at 7, and Brooks. What does Brooks cost, guys? Let us know in the chat. But Brooks has had like getting minutes and getting XG. But Antoine Semenyo, you know, when we look at average position maps from last season of Brian Mbeumo at Brentford, or Mo Salah at Liverpool, or Saka at Arsenal, where the most attacking player is the wide man. Now they'll play on the right, Saka and Mbeumo and Salah. When we see the average position maps of those players, it's always like, oh, they're there, high and wide on the right, no defensive responsibility, and the most attacking threat. Not the number 9 in those teams, but the wide man. That's Bournemouth. And Semenyo offers you that. He doesn't have to defend because Tyler Adams and Marcus Tavernier both drift left and cover him, as well as a left back that's very competent. Traffeur is a brilliant signing, by the way. A good Gyokeres replacement is also a good pick in his own right, quite attacking. But Semenyo doesn't have to backtrack. He doesn't have to defend. So Semenyo always comes away from games with a couple of shots. Now, we see goals like game week 1, he scored a brace. Yesterday, we saw an assist within like the first 10 minutes. But we also saw Semenyo miss 2 big chances. He isn't the best finisher in the world. He lashes at them and he hits them hard. When he hits the target, he often scores because he smashes them. Semenyo only has one finish. Doesn't matter where on the pitch he is. If he's in the box, outside the box, if he's taking a penalty, he took one last year, he laced it. He only has one finish, and it's a pile driver. Now, if it's on target, he scores. Often with pile drivers, they go over the bar. And yesterday we saw that. I think both his attempts went over the bar. Big chances, though. He's going to get them. I like Semenyo as a pick because he's greedy. I like Semenyo as a pick because he doesn't have to defend. I like Semenyo as a pick because he's always in these positions. So the Bournemouth fixtures, they're third in the ticker. This is attacking difficulty filtered by on Scout. Tottenham, Brighton, Newcastle, Leeds, Fulham. The only problem with Semenyo right now is the entry point. Spurs away is a tough fixture, but it's not a bad fixture. It's not a good one. But then it's 2 home games, Brighton, Newcastle, Leeds, Fulham. I like Semenyo. Get on in. I think he's inevitable. I think he's going to be in all our teams. I think he's inevitable. Semenyo is going to be top of our wish list. Now, Semenyo has had 2 price rises. He is 7.2. Should mention that. He's only 17% owned. And boy, am I interested. So, Tavernier playing well, Brooks playing well. Scott, by the way, and Tyler Adams are going to pick up DEFCON. The centre-backs both picked up DEFCON yesterday. Senesi is the only player that's picked up DEFCON in both his games. Bournemouth defence, they're going to keep some clean sheets in these games too. Again, the entry point not the best for them. Wolves, I don't think we need to discuss. I don't think you own a Wolves player right now. Agbadu will get DEFCON, but we knew that. Any comments on them, guys? Some would say Liverpool was a hard fixture for Semenyo. Do you know what, Kieran? It's a great point. And the only reason why Semenyo wasn't in Game Week 1 teams was the opening game against Anfield, which is silly. Because after Liverpool, they had a great run. But we all look at the fixture ticker with Game Week 1 in mind. It's like Spurs, right? Spurs had Man City Game Week 2, Burnley Game Week 1. If Spurs had Man City Game Week 1 and Burnley Game Week 2, their ownership would have been so much lower pre-season. Like Bournemouth. So look, that's where we're at. Last year, Semenyo was a trial. I don't know. He started the season really well. I would sell Strand Larsen, yes. Unless he moves to Newcastle. What other game haven't we done? We haven't done all the games, have we? We need to do... we need to do a bit of Sunderland. Guys, double clean sheet for Batici. Come on. So look, I went into Sunderland versus Burnley with double Burnley defence. And the reason I played my bench boost was pretty much because of Dubravka. I said, and you saw it in my videos, when is Dubravka going to have a clean sheetable game? Look at Burnley's fixtures. Like, we've all got Dubravka as our bench boost keeper, right? And I want a bench boost for our wild card. So Burnley's fixtures is, what are the chances Dubravka's got of a clean sheet versus Man United, Liverpool, Forest, City, Villa? And it continues. Now, of course, he can go and chance fluke a clean sheet or get one and make loads of saves and get a 15-pointer. It's unlikely, though. I was very happy with the 6-pointers, and I felt like Burnley had a very good chance of getting one. The bookies had them at 30% likely. So the bookies weren't saying they'll keep a clean sheet, but 30% likely. I had a step, I had Dubravka. The bench boost was a success. Even though Cole Palmer didn't play, and even though Guiu played 10 minutes, I expected that. I didn't expect any more than 10 minutes. But I'll take that. So thankfully, the 10 minutes of added time, guys, I was sweaty palms listening to the game. It was horrible. So look, that's where we're at. Let's do Burnley versus Sunderland. Before we do, if anyone wants to be a channel member this morning and sign up, the join button is below. Loads of our channel members are in. So thank you for supporting the channel. And obviously, we've got the WhatsApp group for the Ultras. But let's go through the visual stuff with this football match because it was pretty level. The bookies had it as the lowest scoring game of the game week. The bookies said the XG total would be 2.3. They had the lowest scoring game of the round as Sunderland Burnley. I actually said it could be a 0-0. And what was the XG? The bookies bang on the money with 2.2. Pretty much nailed it. So yeah, pretty cool. It was low scoring. It wasn't actually a bad football match. I thought when I saw this chart, oh, it stinks of quality, not many chances, but fair play. The chances they got were quite good. Both teams, certainly Burnley, defended well. And when you look at the Burnley shape and the pass map and the identity of the team, it's quite good. So look, what they struggled for was big chances. Fine. Sunderland had a big chance in the first 5 minutes. Mayenda. right in front. See that green dot right in front of the goal? That was a big chance for Mayenda. Dubravka saved it. I think that was Dubravka's only save. So they started the game well, but yeah, didn't happen. Amanda should have scored that, and that would have been Gianni mudded double clean sheet wipeout. But after that, they did very little, and we can see an XG total of 0.99. Sunderland, everything goes through Xhaka. Xhaka's still got it, guys. Arsenal fans will have fond memories of Xhaka, but he went to Leverkusen and did a good job. Now, in this football match, Xhaka got 13 defensive contributions. Xhaka got DEFCON. Xhaka is a good... Xhaka was in my team all pre-season, right? I ended up going Dewsbury Hall, but Xhaka's a good pick. Ronaldo got 12, so Ronaldo got DEFCON. And Ronaldo DEFCON there. Like, you don't expect fullbacks to get DEFCON, but we are seeing it. We saw it with Cucurella. We've seen it with a few players so far. It's not just the centre-backs. If a lot of play comes down that side, the fullback can get it. So, again, a lot of the Burnley play came down that right-hand side of, or I guess not a lot of the play, but they used Larson a lot. So Larson got the ball a lot, which meant Ronaldo, long balls to Larson, Ronaldo interceptions. Yeah. In terms of Burnley, there was some good DEFCON at Burnley. Let me read out the Burnley DEFCON for you. So look, takeaway from Sunderland, they're fine. I think at home they'll be all right. Xhaka's a good buy. Adingra's a good buy. Burnley, we saw defenders getting DEFCON. You look at this and go, oh, is Esteve going to out DEFCON Ekdal and Walker? Well, look, Ekdal, 14, so he got bonus. Hannibal from the front, 13. Jadon Anthony just missed out with 11. Remember, Anthony's a midfielder. He needs 12. But Hannibal from the front getting DEFCON. Ekdal at the back, and let Esteve still used. And because they use him for passing a lot, his BPS will be quite good. So, yeah, Dubravka had a good game. Huge win for Burnley. It's a tough run. They needed to win that game because they got some bad games coming up. I don't think you're going to be starting Dubravka and Esteve much with these fixtures coming up. That's fine. But fair play to Burnley. Good performance. They need to win their home games, and they did. They did yesterday. Can't ask for more than that. We did the Ait-Nouri injury report. We shouted out the members, and yeah, we spoke about my team. I do want to do a recap and look at some of your big dilemmas this week. Obviously, injury news is big. Do you sell Palmer? Do you sell Saka? Do you sell Ait-Nouri? My inkling is Palmer's the one you can keep hold of because the fixtures are there. Chelsea are flying, and I think he probably is a good chance of being available. The other two, less so. Guys, thank you for all of you watching. I'm going to try and do a Monday morning debrief, so watch this space. Thank you very much. So yeah, we'll try and go live like 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. If the games today are good enough, we'll do a quick one. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll still call it the Sunday debrief. That's just the title of the show. And I will drop a video. Don't know. I might do a Sunday debrief tonight. I'll try and do something, but I'll also drop a video with my early thoughts because I've got 2 transfers and I'm going to be doing some bits with those guys because I might use Watkins as a cash cow. I might use Palmer as a cash cow. Let's see. On your way out, guys, if you can do one thing, if you've enjoyed today's show, hit that subscribe button for me and we will see you in under 24 hours for another video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.